5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the ball start rolling, Nick.
It's Thursday, it's 7:40. Oh, wait, wrong day. Good evening, friends. Good evening. Wow, welcome one and all. And I apologise for the little plug of mine and Tony's Friday afternoon intro, which is usually Friday. It's 4 p.m. But of course, tonight it is Thursday. It is 7:45, and I haven't got the right glasses on, so now I'll have a look and see you. There you are. Wow, hello. It is Littleport Christian Spiritualists. Steady on, love. You see what kind of night you're going to have tonight. It is Littleport Christian Spiritualists. It's a Thursday. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Thank you all for coming out. I do hope you have a wonderful, uplifting, spiritual evening. It is so great to see so many familiar faces, some returning faces, and some new faces, and some faces that I've been sitting and talking to and seeing online for yonks, but have only ever met today. It's a right royal ruckus today. And it's bound to be, because this, of course, is a service of mediumship. And in order to perform a service of mediumship, you need, let me see, mediums. We're in trouble. I didn't tell them they were going to be working tonight. They're just sitting up here thinking they get the better drinks. But of course, tonight you will see you've not got one, you've not got two, but you've got three exponents of the world of spirit joining us here on platform tonight. Give a big Littleport welcome to Reverend Tony Swindells. Reverend Jean Pearson and Nicola Goodson. I feel like I'm hosting like a game show or something. Higher or lower than the next one. But friends, welcome and thank you all for coming. It is a truly special honour to see you all here. And it is both a joyous and a slightly bittersweet night too. Because, of course, Tony and Jean, like myself, are ministers of the Independent Spiritualists Alliance. Of course, another one of the Bishop's Advisory Council, Reverend Barbara Price, has joined us tonight, as she frequently does, so long as we have chocolate in the raffle. But unfortunately, there is a face that will be missing tonight again, and that is Reverend Alan. He is getting good care at last. He's sort of doing his told, almost for once, in hospital. Please, please, please send your healing thoughts out to Reverend Alan throughout the service. Put him in your prayers. And when we have our healing session later on, please include his name too. Alan, if you are convinced somebody on the ward to let you have a computer access, hello, mate. If you watch this later, hello, mate, still. We will be sending out to you. But of course, Alan is extremely poorly at the moment, so please send your healing thoughts to him, one and all, please. But of course, to tonight, I know that many of you will have seen Tony on a Friday afternoon, will have seen Tony and Jean serving Spirit online at various different times. It's almost like the soaps are boring, let's do something. And long may it rain, because we encourage people not to watch EastEnders on a Thursday night here too. But I know we are going to have a truly spiritual and uplifting evening with all three of you serving Spirit. Thank you all so very, very much. Because it's not like they've come round from the corner either. You know, how many miles is it? 107 miles. So it's quite a distance. But you are all most very welcome, as are each and every one of you here tonight, because this is your service. We are here to serve you. This is your church. You tell me what to do, and I do it. And that is one lesson that I've told that I've still got a lot to learn on. But I try, and I'll get there in the end. But of course, being a divine service, we do begin as ever. And let's join together, if you will, for a moment as we open this evening in prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to witness your proof and your truth that life is indeed eternal, to shine a light upon the world, to show the world that there is life eternal, and that the continuity of life is a very real and present thing, so that hope, joy, and upliftment may reign. So therefore, Great Spirit, as we place this service in your care and keeping, we make the statement as ever, that everything we do is in love, truth, and light. Amen. Well, friends, now is the time in the service where I usually say a few words of thought from Spirit, through my spirit, hopefully to your spirit, if I don't put you all to sleep in the next 5 minutes. Some kind of spiritual thought. Like, for instance, reminding myself, if you do have mobile phones, please make sure they're on silent or vibrate. See, you can always see the Scrabble to check. I was doing mine during the intro sequence. It's force of habit now. But now's the time when I try and impart on behalf of my friends in spirit a thought. My job is not to tell you what to think. My job is not even to tell you what God is. Because at the end of the day, personal relationships are forged and built by those involved. And I would never presume, even wearing this garb that I wear, to tell people who or what God is. But through spiritualist philosophy, we aim to get people thinking. And whether or not you agree with a bittersweet word I say, It doesn't matter. If you get thinking about it, that's all that matters. One thing that we hear a lot about in this way of life, very prevalent, I would say, most recently, but it's been certainly on the boiler for at least a good few years, is the word ego. Now, I have a very good friend in the world of spirit, a very good mutual friend in the world of spirit, a lovely, lovely lady, wonderful exponent and medium, Joyce Gobet. She stood there in front of me, around about on that dot just there, one Thursday night, and said, "Nick, do you know what ego stands for?" And I said, "You tell me, Joyce." And she said, "Easing God out." And it was a very simple message, and a very true one, but to a point. Because in this world in which we live, especially us who speak, or at least attempt to speak on my half, the English language, words can have many different meanings. And if you look for the definition of ego, it simply says awareness of self. Now, this is the thing that we need to be careful of. Because is ego this awareness of self, or are we talking about some other thing when we're saying it's a problem in this way of life? I think anybody with at least a grain of personal self-awareness would know that the ego that we talk about in spiritualism is something far different. I have been guilty, and I put my hands up frequently, I have been guilty on numerous occasions of falling down the route of using fancy words, clever words, big words. One person in my circle frequently tells me that I've eaten a thesaurus this week and should probably get a translation. And it's true. When we as spiritualists talk about ego, we need to be careful. Because if we are talking about that awareness of self, we need that to become mediums, to develop as individuals, to grow and be self-aware and consciously aware of our thoughts and attitudes and behaviors. This other thing that we're talking about is the other translation of the word ego. Because there's self-awareness and then there's self-importance. One thing that I have learned on my journey in this way of life is that I've had to cut back with fancy words. So in order to combat the real problem when we talk about ego, we need to cut back fancy words. We need people to not cut back on ego, but on ignorance, foolishness, and being in charge. No one runs everyone else's life, and they darned well shouldn't. And anyone who tries is in that category that we were just talking about. We are all united and equal. We are all together on this journey. And anyone who considers themselves higher or further along that road hasn't reached the end of the road. And I know that many people in this room and many people watching online will have reached a point at some point in their lives when they have felt like they have reached the end of the road. What has helped people carry on but hand reaching out from the side and saying, "I've got you, come on, let's go." Not someone standing 10 miles down the road yelling at them, "Get your backside moving." That hasn't worked, and it never will. The ego that we talk about in this way of life, the ego that, bless her, Joyce was talking about in this way of life, is not an awareness of self. It's a self-importance. And my friends, never, ever, ever feel that you cannot be aware of yourself, because that's the risk. It is the big risk that you stop being aware of yourself because you are afraid to be seen as someone who is filled with ego when all you're trying to do is be aware of yourself. Because when you're aware of yourself, you do the one thing that you can only do when you look in the mirror and laugh. Because if you can't look in at the mirror and laugh, it's a sad, sad world. You are the only person who knows yourself. And I cannot presume to tell you about yourself. But what I can tell you is if you can look in the mirror, not lick the mirror, that would be dangerous, especially in public. If you can look in the mirror instead, if you can look in the mirror and laugh, you will know the folly of life. You will know that we sometimes react wrongly. We sometimes overreact. You will know that sometimes we make mistakes. Being self-aware is an acknowledgement of that. So if you are not able to do that, I say that's just as dangerous as the far extreme of ego. My friends, laughter, love, humor, and walking together along the road is all that really matters. But to do that, you have to be aware of yourself and the life you are leading so that you can look across and say, think I'm doing all right, hope I'm doing all right. Anybody got any suggestions? That is the adventure. Because I know that shadows should not be feared. Because the shadows that we bring with us make the light all the brighter. And that difficulty and struggle are the things that make us who we are. But they only have an impact if you know who you are. So be aware of yourself. Have self-awareness. And when it comes to using fancy words to describe things, just call it what it is. Because then there's no confusion as to whether we're understood or not. That is all that matters in life. Being honest and true to yourself and each other. So thank you all for listening, and God bless you all. And so now, I'm not going to call it what she calls it. She can do that. But with the absence of Reverend Allen, once again, we are in for a treat, I'm sure, because Eunice has agreed to do another of her writings/readings. So please welcome to the front, Eunice! I'll plug you in. I'll do it that way. I'll just chase you now.
Right, good evening. Those of you who know me will know that I often say positive thoughts bring positive results. Well, I would like to read to you a few of my favourite quotes, some by famous people. John Lennon said, "Count your age by friends, not years. Count your life by smiles, not tears." Mark Twain said, "The best way to cheer yourself up is to cheer somebody else up." Princess Diana said, "Lead by your heart, not by your head." Mahatma Gandhi, "Happiness is when you think and what you do and what you say are all in harmony." Dolly Parton, "If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another." Mother Teresa, Let no one come to you without leaving a better and happier person. Abraham Lincoln, people are often as happy as they make up their minds to be. And these now are a couple of quotes that are my favourites. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time with more intelligence. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but rising every time we do fail. And finally, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at often change. Thank you.
Excellent stuff. Not only a wonderful collection of words that are very important, but also I didn't have to chase you across the hall this week. Just thank you. Wonderful. Thank you, Eunice. Amazing as ever. And I'm sure Alan will be smiling when he sees those words. Of course he will. So thank you again. And so now, friends, it's the time in our evening when we send out our healing thoughts to all those that are sick and suffering and in need of comfort, but also those in the room that are in requirement of healing may also ask for them. So I'm going to ask Tony to step forward. The other Tony. See, this is where it's really going to get confusing. I keep going to call him Reverend Tony every week. So we're going to ask Tony to step forward to lead in healing. But would all those that wish to offer healing please stand and make themselves available at the back of the room so you can see hands rise. So all healers, please get yourselves at the back of the hall, and I will join you in a moment myself too. And so, Mr. Tony.
Thank you.
Over to you.
You're so kind. Good. Those of you who would like some healing, just put your hands in the air. Oh, there we go. Healers, you know where you're going. Just keep your hands up for a moment or three. Rusty, we may need you. One there? I think so. One there? You okay? I'll do that one when we're ready. That's fine. Thank you. Just a few words and then you may begin. Central to our way of life and belief is the need and practice of healing. It transcends all walks of life. So, Great Spirit, please send your power to our healers here and send your healing to those not here, but in need of healing, whether in mind or body. For when we gather together and healing is asked for and given, the power of our healing is multiplied exponentially. Healers, you may begin. Thank you, healers. Just bring yourselves back. And once again, thank you for all of you who asked. It is difficult. Thank you.
This is your 2-minute warning. This is your 2-minute warning. Oh, I make up my mind which blooming glasses I'm going to wear in a minute, won't I? Friends, thank you all for taking part in the healing. And as Tony said, absolutely right. Asking for healing is the first step. It is the best part of the journey. And so now, my friends, hello, of course, to it. I can't see what's going on there because I'm wearing the wrong glasses. But hello, everyone online still with us, because you're about to see a demonstration of mediumship. And of course, this is the bit you're all here for. I know, I'm not daft. This is the moment that you've all been looking forward to, where I'm going to ask Tony, Jean, and Nicola to stand. They'll have to share a microphone, obviously, but you can just pass it along to whoever goes next, to give us a demonstration of mediumship. Should they come to you, please answer in a clear voice, yes, no, or don't know. Not only so they can see what's going on, but also, let's face it, we're all nosy and want to know what's going on as well. Of course, for those that have never been before or not been in a while, please be reminded that should there be a need to leave the building, our exits are here, here, and through here. And if the chairs start floating and the curtains start twitching, it's either the flying ants. And if it's not the flying ants, you can follow me out the front door, because I'll be the first one out, because that don't happen here. Unless, of course, it's the flying ants. But most importantly, send your love, upliftment, and generosity to Tony, Jean, and Nicola as they do the work of spirit and serve those memories of those that we thought we'd lost. So please give a proper, a raucous, an uplifting welcome to our mediums, Tony, Jean, and Nicola! Who's going first? Right, okay, Governor. The people at home won't hear you. So
Can I just say, if they put me a mic on when we do a service anyway and they give me a mic in my hand, you can guarantee it goes off. I'm the one what sets everything buzzing and goes off. I'm sorry I won't move around because I'm not too good on my feet at the minute. But can I come to Linda, please? All right, I'm so sorry, but I've got to, because I've had a lady in one ear saying Linda and I've had another one in the other ear saying Lynn. So I do know you can understand to what would have given you Linda and Lynn. All right, sweetheart. I know this lady who I'm talking to at the moment would be a bit smaller than myself. I know she would be cuddly. Okay, darling, as she comes in. She's got same colour hairing as me, but it would be thicker. She's saying because I haven't got a lot of hair. I've had it cut off, the cheeky thing, but she's saying that, darling, okay. And she's showing me her face. She's got a lovely, and I've got to say she looks as though she's got blusher on her face, but she hasn't. She's got that look where her cheeks are red and she looks right vibrant as she's coming across here to you, sweetheart, okay. She's telling me at the moment that you're getting a bit stubborn, and I'm sorry for putting across like that. I do apologise, but I don't like to sugarcoat things. I'm not that type. But she's saying, you've got to listen. And sometimes it's, oh, yeah, I'm listening, but really you're not, sweetheart. Can you understand that? All right. She's saying, but they're only there to help you, and they're only trying to guide you right. But it's still, you know, it's down to you at the end of the day. Can I please give you Joyce? I keep hearing a Joyce mentioned here as well. And I've also, all right, darling, and I've also got a Mavis, okay, shouting in for you as well as they're coming along. I do know, sweetheart, that I do know you suffer mobility. I do know that. I don't know a lot about you, but can I say these little things? Well, she's just said you're getting a bit creaky. That's a bit rude now as well. But your knees are getting a bit more creaky, sweetheart. Okay. And she's just saying that that does need sorting out. Or please don't be afraid to ask. All right. Okay, she's just laughing at me. And she's saying she's missed that belly laugh. So when you laugh, you've stopped laughing with that big laugh. She's saying, because I've missed that big belly laugh. She wants to hear that come once again. Okay, she's getting a bit emotional. So I do know this lady would have been the emotional type anyway when she's talking to people. And I know my glasses, these are too big for my face now. But she's on about glasses with you, sweetheart. Okay, but what she's also saying is, take the rose-tinted ones off and put the real ones on, please. And you can understand where that comes from. All right, she's because you need to see other things. All right, darling. I don't know. All right, I'm not going to open anything up because we don't do that. But I do know, sweetheart, there's somebody around you, what's not quite right around you. All right, and she's saying, you know, follow your gut, you know what's right and what's wrong. All right. I know she's taking me to February, sweetheart, so I do know there's a February birthday, she's telling me. Okay, so she's bringing me that in, and I want to give you the 17th, but I'm not saying the 17th of February, but I do know the 17th's important as well. Okay. Do you know, I'm trying to make my mind up if it's a little dog just run under your legs or if it's a little mouse thing. It's only tiny. You can understand a little dog in spirit, right? But why am I seeing a mouse as well? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not saying you've got mice. But you can understand who would have had mice, either as pets or they did have a bit of an invasion in the home. You had one. Well, I'll stick with one then because that one will be enough, but I do know there's more coming round. All right, I'm not saying you're having them now, this is a memory, but I'm giving you this one. All right, you can have that one for now. It's just sat there washing its little face, bless it. Right, cheeky little thing. But it's there anyway, sweetheart, and that's a memory for you as well. Okay. And I do know as I'm talking here that I can hear birds, but I'm not saying they're just budgies or anything like that. I've got a different set of birds. You know, there might be a parrot, there might be is it a cockatiel or something? I don't know my birds, but I'm hearing different birds. All right. And you can understand where one had one, what could be very rude. It learnt a few words what it shouldn't have learnt. All right, because like it's saying them here and I can't say what it's saying. All right, sweetheart. And I know Jack's a very common name, but you can understand Jack as well. But he's just said, stop calling me common. And I didn't call him common, I said his name. But he's just had a little tinker at me and said, I've got to stop it. All right, sweetheart. And all right, they're going a bit too fast. It's not your husband, sweetheart, so I'm not fetching your husband forward, I'll be honest. But I do know there's a gentleman in spirit what's connected to your husband, okay? And I do know he's coming in and he's coming in with that healing balm for you, okay? And he's trying to bring so much, and there again, they're saying they're knocking, but you're not listening, all right? And they're trying to help you, sweetheart, as well, with your sleep. All right. And I do know they're taking me to about 20 past 2. So I don't know if that's where you wake up, round about 20 past 2, or you can understand 20 past 2 as a time. That's when you go to sleep. So you can understand it. Because that's what they just keep telling me, darling. Okay. They are, all right, sweetheart. They're singing You Are My Sunshine. So I do know you are special to someone in the spirit world as well, because they're singing that to you. But they also, this lady who I've been talking to has just said to me, her home was a castle. She says, I didn't have much, but what I had was mine. All right. She says, and anybody could come in, but they took me as they found me. All right. And I'm going to leave you because she'll be here with you all night if she can. I know she got her words muddled up towards the end of the passing because I'm getting mine a bit muddled up now as she's coming closer to you, darling. Okay. But I've got to give you a cup of tea, but with a proper cup and saucer, and a morning coffee biscuit. You know, the morning coffee ones? I've not had one of them for years, but I'm giving you that as well. And can I please just say to you, thank you for everything you did. And the cakes. So you must have made cakes together, or you must have sat and had a piece of cake because she wants me to give you a Victoria sandwich. All right, darling, and I'll leave her love with you and say thank you. Thank you.
Those. The only one I ever knew that could make a Victoria sandwich that would split in the middle and explode, and they were lovely.
Oh, that's all right.
Watch me booties.
Fine. What are we doing?
Find a wire. Feel free to wander.
I'm all right at the minute. Thank you. I don't know if I'm coming to Eunice or not, but you just lit up, sweetheart. Yeah, while I was sat wondering where I was going to go, and you just lit up. So just bear with me, please. But I've got a lady and a gentleman that have come through and stood one either side of me. That usually means to me that they were connected while they were here. So either husband, wife, brother, sister, but there was a family connection between these two while they were this side of life. Okay, it's the lady that's brought herself forward first, and if I had slaves, she'd have rolled them up, because I know this lady wouldn't be frightened to get down and get on with whatever needed doing, and she was very practical and very pragmatic about things. And she's going you too, which means you've picked up on that. So you're very much like that. You're quite pragmatic about things. You're very practical about things. But she's saying she's making me feel like it's a creative energy around you as well. So you must be really good at creative thinking, is what I'm getting, rather than creative. I know you probably are creative as well, but it's the creative thinking side of it, because she's saying at times in your life you must have had to think your way out of situations and sort of think differently about things to achieve what it is you need to achieve. Okay. She's not giving me anything about passing condition or anything at all, but she's just telling me she got tired at the end. So that's all she gave me. So that's all I can give you about that. Okay. Right. The energy I've got with her is a really warm energy, a really lovely energy, but I feel that edge to it as well. So I know that if she needed to, she could put her foot down and dig her heels in and be very much, oh no, we're not going there. So she's bringing that through as well. And again, she's saying, and you too. So if you can be pushed so far, and then it's very much, no, this stops now. But you would understand, please, why she's saying over the sort of 6-8 months, maybe a year, you've had to do that. You've had to sort of say, no, this is enough. We're not going there. You know, I'm putting my foot down now. You've pushed it as much as you're going to push it. And what I'm getting is, soonest said, quickest mended. So it's like you're very much a believer in, if you've got to say something, get it said, it's out in the open then, and you can just move on and everything can be dealt with. You're not one that'll bring things on and extend things, you understand? Yeah, okay. I'm getting healing in my hands. I know Tony's a healer, but somebody needs healing in either hands or wrists. Would you understand where that is, please? Because oh, right, okay. It must still give you a bit of a twinge every now and again then, because because I'm still getting the healing for the, okay. Okay. I do suffer with asthma and a bit of COPD, but I'm getting healing across the chest as well. So there is somebody connected with you that must suffer either the same things as me or has a chest issue that I'm getting the healing for as well. Okay. Oh, dates. I'm a bit pants with dates, I'm sorry, but 11 years I've been platform, and I can be a day off, but we go with it. Around the 19th of a month must be significant for a birthday, anniversary, or a passing, because I'm seeing around the 19th circle, so 18th, 19th, 20th, but around there. And I'm also 25th, so around the 25th must be significant for you as well. And I've got the month of May being shouted in, so the month of May must be significant. It's been shouted in, I've not seen the calendar, so it may be the name May, but with it being connected to dates, I'm presuming it's the month of May. If it's the name, I apologise, it's how I've interpreted the information. Okay. 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 I've gone completely blank. And when I go blank on a platform, it usually means they're acknowledging either a dementia condition, a stroke condition, or something that affects the head and thinking processes towards the end of life. So, oh, right, bless you, that's what it is then. And the fog's gone now, so that's it. All right. And the back, somebody had everybody's got a back. What are you saying that for? I've just heard, oh, I had a back. Somebody must have had an issue with the back. I've got a disc at L5S1 that's gone, but somebody must have had a back issue prior to their passing because they're telling me I had a back. Yeah, what keeps your head from your bum if you don't have the back? But so there was somebody who had a bit of a problem with the back, may have used a stick, may not, but if you can't... Yeah, L5S1 is in line with, because it's damaged both my sciatic nerves, which is really nice. But, okay. No. I've got an appointment card. When I see an appointment card with dates filled in, that usually means there's somebody here who has appointments. It may be medical, it may be work appointments, but there's somebody who's backwards and forwards, and it's almost like their life's being run by an appointment card at the minute because they're backwards and forwards that much, and here, there, and everywhere. Okay. They aren't giving me much more, sweetheart, but as they are pulling their energy away from me, I'm returning a flower, which means for me that a flower was placed either with the coffin, in the coffin, on the grave, or at the crematorium, but I'm returning a flower that was given to me with love. So they're returning that back for you. And squeezing my hand, so that, again, usually for me means they were aware that somebody sat and held the hand either as they were transitioning or shortly after they took the transition to spirit, we sat and held hands. So they just want to leave that with you, my love, and say, God bless. Thank you. I'm not putting...
Yeah. Okay, so I've been working with Tony and Jean to develop for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And I've just started going out on rostrum last year with my partner in crime, Leslie. But unfortunately, she can't be here with us tonight. My radar is a little bit off, so although I feel like I'm coming this direction, everybody please listen, because I could be anywhere. Okay. I've got two people with me at the minute, and I've got a lady that's quite tall, probably about 5'9", 5'10", quite slender. And I've got a gentleman, probably a little bit shorter, but not too much shorter. The lady's quite quiet, and she's just observing, and I get the impression that they're related. Okay. I am getting the date of, so you must understand the date, month of June, something linked to this couple. Can anybody take any of this so far, so I know which direction I'm heading in? Okay. You must also be able to take the name of Rosemary, or Rose and then Mary, because I'm getting it, but there's like a little gap in the middle. Okay. It's the gentleman that's stepping forward more, and I get the impression that he was, or he's giving me the impression that he was a bit of a joker. Okay, because he's laughing. It's also saying 4. He's not giving me anything else with that, so it could either be the number 4, as in a family of 4, or 4 children. Okay. He's actually stood outside a shed, so and he says, "Get the grass cut." Right. Okay. So he's talking about the grass. He just wants to bring lots of laughter. So, and he says that's not always there at the minute. So bringing lots of laughter. remember the jokes? Or just to remember the jokes? So that's all he's saying to me. Okay, yeah, remember the jokes. So you obviously need them at the minute. And he is giving you grass, as in the green grass. So I don't know why, but that's what he wants to leave with you. So yeah, I'll leave all his love with you.
I'm coming to you, sweetheart, in 2 minutes with the pink dotted dress on. But Linda, can I just say that when two ladies are saying sisters, so I don't know if you can understand where there's two sisters, sweetheart, or people who all like sisters, but they keep saying you forgot to say we're sisters. Is that okay, darling? Because they just don't, you forgot. So that's fine then, as long as I can, oh, do you know, I am coming to you. I am coming, they've just jumped back in. Can I just give you Doreen? That I'm leaving them now then, because they'll be here with you all night. But I forgot, sweetheart, so there you go, I do apologise. Can I talk to you, sweetheart? Okay, because I've got a lady and Tony always calls them feisty ladies. One what's not frightened to say what they want to say. All right, and this is how she's coming in. I know she would be about your height, sweetheart, okay? They love the colour of your hair. They do like the colour of your hair, they're saying. So I do know, but I am looking at probably mum, nan, because we're going up a generation. Okay, sweetheart? But they are also bringing a young energy in around you. So I do know there's somebody what went as a young energy around you, darling, all right? I can't see them and I can't feel them just yet. I just know they're there. So hopefully they'll let me see a little bit more as we go on. Can I just say the lady who I'm with at the moment, I know she's talking about her nose, and I don't know why she's actually bringing her nose into it, but she's saying it was more flatter. She says, I didn't have a big nose, it was more flatter. I don't know why she's bringing that in, but there's something to do with her nose. Right. All right. And she's saying, let's just get that straight. I didn't have a big nose, it was just flatter. All right, darling, as she's coming in, she's laughing about it, so I can say it as she's getting in there. All right. But I do, as she's saying she would say what she needed to say, but she's saying you do. You've held something in for too long now, sweetheart, and it's time to actually say it. All right. And she's just saying, we know what you want to say, but you need to pick your words out to say it. You understand that, darling? Okay. She's saying, because if you go like them, your brain will think, your mouth will think faster than your brain, and it'll not come out right. All right, so you've got to really be careful, okay? I hope your neighbour's not in. I hope your neighbour's not around here tonight, but that's all right then, because there's something about your neighbour. You must understand, she's not opening it up, that's why I'm asking if your neighbour's in, but you can understand where there's something about your neighbour. I don't know what she's just saying, tell her about the neighbour. So they know about your neighbour, there's something. All right, sweetheart, I'll ask them as we're moving on, but I just wanted to check first in case. I said it once and maybe wording, didn't I, Tony? So I'm just checking. All right, yeah, you sure, all right, go to her. But she's there for you, sweetheart, and she's just saying it's lovely. She's bringing you back, and she's saying it's just like when you were 18 again. She's the holidays, you know, where we all had fun and laughter and that. She's saying, and that it's nice to see you do some of that again. I'm not saying you're 18, but it's nice to see you bring that laughter back in once again, sweetheart, okay? Because you have had it hard. I'm going to go, forget the lockdown, because we all did. But just before the lockdown, sweetheart, things were changed. And it was as if you was walking through treacle and you just thought to yourself, oh, when is my pit boots going to come off? And when can I take that next step? And they're saying now you've got past that. I'm not saying everything's perfect, nobody can. But they're saying it's just nice to see you go past that and you are stepping more freely. All right, and that's how they're bringing in. It's lovely. And I'm sorry, but she's just showing me toes. Do you normally have your? I shouldn't ask. Do you normally have your toenails painted? No. Well, she's telling you you've got to have them done. Oh, right. She's a bit rude, isn't she? She just took me to your toenails and said they're not painted. So I do apologise for that. No, that's all right. You can tell her off. I'm not telling her off. But she's there, but she's that sense of humour with her. Yeah. All right, she would have had a sense of humour. Okay, sweetheart. And she keeps drawing me to Sarah. You must understand as Sarah. All right, she's not saying if she's in spirit or on earth plane, but she's talking about Sarah, sweetheart. Okay, so if she's on earth plane, will you please send a thought out that way? Because if they bring them and they're still with us, then they need that little thought. Okay. You must be talking, or they've listened to you talking about doing something else to your hair. Because they're talking, she says, we've heard. And you can understand where somebody's had a little, not now, but in past, where they would have moaned and had a moan about you getting either makeup or dye on the pillar. Because they're fetching that in, they're saying, so just watch because this won't come out. You got told off before, so this will not come out. All right, sweetheart, so please just take note of that. And I've got a lovely gentleman just jumped in very quickly, but he's talking about a gold tooth.
Oh, yes.
Can you understand? It's just jumped straight past and talked about his gold tooth. All right, as long as you can understand him, sweetheart. I do know he would be a quite nice set gentleman, quite tall, quite nice and broad, but I'm very Yorkshire, and I'll admit that some people don't know what I'm saying, but he would have had a nice way of talking. All right, he's coming in. Very smart, I've got to say as well. But you can understand, he's looking really dapper, he's saying. But you can understand where somebody would have been in the police force, darling, or had something to do with the police force. Yes. All right, because they're around as well, they're telling me, okay, as they're coming in. I've got to give you an egg and soldiers. Yes. Egg and soldiers. But you had to have them chopped. You know, it was no good giving you bread, they had to chop your soldiers properly. All right, so there's a memory for you as well, sweetheart. And I do know this talks about you either wanting to go on holiday for a nice break, or you're thinking of going just somewhere for a couple of days. All right, they haven't told me which, but I feel as though you could go on both. All right, so I'm seeing you like just packing like a little night bag, but then with a big suitcase as well. So just watch where you might be asked to go on both. Okay. And I've got that dress, but you know what they're singing? And that, she wore a yellow polka dot bikini. And I know you've got your pink dress on, but they're singing the other song to it. But it'd be a bit rude, what they're saying. All right, so I can't say that neither. Can I please, all right, darling. There's memories of somebody who lived behind, that doesn't sound good, behind a green door. Somebody had a green door. And these memories, you're going to have to go back when you were younger. But the front door was green, and people used to cause hassle around it. I'm not saying you did, but I don't know if they didn't like the green door or they didn't like the people who lived in it, but there was trouble around that house. All right, sweetheart. I've got to give you 36. All right. Number 36, they're telling me, and I've got to give you Jim. Oh, yes. All right, I've got to give you Jim. He's lovely, stood in background, and he's really just listening. Yeah. All right, sweetheart. But the young energy, I've got to say, I can feel a male young energy around you. All right, and that's how they're coming in. It was unexpected passing. All right, so it was very unexpected, and nobody didn't know what would happen. All right, he's not telling me everything because it's nothing to do with me, and I don't like to bring how they've passed anyway. Yeah. But he's saying nobody, it was a very unexpected passing. All right, sweetheart, he's coming in with that. I know I've gave a dog out before, but you can understand a dog, but a bit bigger. Yeah. All right, because it's touching my knee. So I know we're looking at probably, what about this big? Well, it's touching my knee. So if you can understand it as an Alsatian, that's fine. But I know we're going bigger. All right. Dogs are very loyal and they're very protective. And I do feel at times that's how you feel you need. You need that. Can I just say, without being rude, sweetheart, sometimes you feel as though you're alone, but you're not, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And sometimes you want that bit of love, that bit of connection. And they're just saying, we're there with you. We are trying to help. And just listen for them and just have that feel, because they are with you. They are wanting to give you that love. And I do know, I always say, when people need a lot of healing, it's as if they put them in one of these sleeping bags, zip them up, and that's you. Some days you don't know what hurts and what doesn't hurt, darling, because you don't tell everybody. All right, they're just putting you in a sleeping bag, zipping you up, and you're getting healing everywhere. All right, can I give you lilies, please? All right, because they've just given me a bouquet of lilies for you. And I do know we're looking at a birthday very soon. All right, because they're singing happy birthday. But can I also give you, all right, darling, just go stay. October, there's a passing in October as well. There's a passing in October, not family, darling. This would be a friend, and they would have passed in October, and we're going to the latter end of October. And it was a very sudden passing. Very sudden. That was something else nobody expected. And they're coming around you as well, love. All right? They're just telling me Susie as well. Yeah. All right. They're all there for you. They're all coming around because that's what you're wanting. All right. And I am going to sit down, but before I do sit down, can I get... All right. I'm not saying he's a fisherman. Now, our Tony's got corpse or whatever they are in his pond, goldfish or whatever outside, but you've got memories of somebody having a pond outside. Yes. So I don't know if the corpse in it or what, but there was something happened. Either somebody fell in that or they took a fish out. There was something to do with the pond. Can you understand it? Because I'm just seeing an hand in and hand out, and I don't know if you pinch one at fish or something happened, but there's something to do with that pond. Oh, well, there's definitely something happened at the pond then, isn't there? Because I'm just seeing hand in and out. All right, sweetheart, and I'll leave Spirit's love with you and say thank you for working with me.
You've got to squeeze it.
Oh.
If you go in your pocket, it won't rub on your shirt.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, because I've got two people lit up. I've got Daryl and I've got the lady in the nice camo top, both lit up. So can you both just listen up, please? Because I don't know which of you I'm working with, or if I'm working with both of you or what. I don't know yet, but I'll do my best. Okay. I have a gentleman that stood with me, and the gentleman, as he stood with me, I don't normally work with physicality. I get energy, but I feel like he's covered, is what I would say. He's not a beanpole. He's a bit like me. He's got a bit of a covering here and there and everywhere. Jean calls it a drop chest when your chest seems to slip down to just above your belt. But he's got the drop chest. And I feel like the chap I'm working with, towards the end of his life, I want to be holding on to the table as if I'm standing, because it aches and I can't stand as long as I could. And mobility isn't quite what it should. And I can't get out and about like I had to, and I needed help here and there. Does that make sense for either of you? Yeah. Does it make sense for you? The weight, no. But can I, yeah, the weight, yeah. Right. I might have a link for you later then, because there's a reason you lit up. All right then. Okay. Quite a strong chap emotionally, I feel, and quite a... He's just said, I went to the school of hard knocks. So I know that through his life, he would have had the edges knocked off him, and he'd have been sort of... He'd had to learn on the hoof, if almost, because, you know, I feel like he's making me feel like there wasn't that guiding influence in his life, or there was something missing in his life where he didn't learn that way, so he had to just do it as he went along. All right. And he's saying, to some extent, you've had to pick things up and just run with them because of, I guess nowadays we would say, curveballs that have been chucked at you, so you've had to sort of just adapt on the hoof. So you've had to sort of pick it up and just run with it because, well, you've had to, because no choice. Okay, bless you. Come on, sir. He's joined by a lady from the world of spirit who would have had either an illness that caused a cascade of things to go wrong, or a cancer-type condition that starts somewhere and spreads. Okay? I don't know which it is. I can just feel like this one thing goes wrong and then it escalates. Okay. And the energy I get off this lady is a lovely warm energy, and she's holding my arms open, which usually means for me that they gather family in. You know, she likes the family there. She's a family orientated person, and she wants to do the best for the family. All right. And I feel like, not that she sacrificed a lot, but she did in a way sacrifice a lot for the family, and the family came first, and she would do without shoes herself if the kids needed shoes, and it's that sort of feeling I'm getting through, if that makes sense for you. All right, matey. Okay. I also have a sense of confusion prior to a passing. I don't know if this is this lady's passing or another lady in the world of spirit, but I feel a little confused prior to a passing. I don't know if it's a medication, like a morphine or something like this, where I'm a bit in and out, or if this is a head condition that causes confusion. See, I can't even get my words out with it. Bless them. I love it when they do that to me. But it's that sort of thing I've got with her, and I just need to let people know here that she's fine, okay? All right. She's... Right, okay. I need to be... There must have been times in your life when it's like you needed a pair of baby reins because you wanted to get to the X, Y's and Z's before you'd done the A, B's and C's. And it's a bit like quite an impatient, and if I set my mind to it, I want it done, and I want it done now, and that's where I need to be with it. And I'm being told, and I don't know what this is concerned with, but there's a bit of that creeping back in, and it's a bit like, oh, I've started this, and I'm really excited about it, and I really want to see where I can go with it, and I really want to see what I can do with it, and why can't I do that now? And she's just saying, we'll get those reins back out if we need to. All right. Okay. I know Jean's just given 2 dogs, actually, but I've got quite a large-ish dog that just comes above my knee. That's just come up and sat down next to you. And when I get dogs from spirit, that's protection and loyalty from the world of spirit, as well as the dog that's come to be remembered and wants to sit with you. So I will leave that dog with you because I don't want to take it back to my hotel because I'm not sure if to let it in. But, hey... okay, bless you. I don't normally work with names, that's her department, but I've got a Sam, and I don't know if that's Samantha or Samuel. You're not sure about a Sam? They're just here. So I feel the more earth side. Right, if you can't place them, that's fine. Everything else has come up. There might be somebody coming in that you'll go, oh yeah, Sam. But yeah. Okay. I'm joined by a male energy from the world of spirit, and this male energy, and this is a phrase I've had a lot recently, is I didn't make old bones. So it's not somebody who'd have got up to their like late 60s, 70s. It's somebody who would have passed younger than that. And they want to acknowledge a quick passing. If it's not theirs, then it's a passing round theirs. That will be quick, if you can understand that. Okay. And I know Jean talks about my fish, but you would understand a fisherman. All right. And not like one that would just buy a cheap rod and things. It would be like a serious, like my other half's dad was a mad keen fisherman and lived down this area for years and would go out on the Broads till all hours. It's a bit boring for me. I need to be a bit more active than that, I'm afraid. But, okay. Plus, I don't like the thought of it. I like my fish. I don't like the thought of hooks in it, no. But, okay, bless you. Come on. Get me back on track. Where am I going? All right. Somebody's tweaking on my ear, and that normally means that we're here, we're talking to you, but you ain't listening. That there's things we're saying to you and you're just not listening. And we all have free will and you can do what you want, but you know, they're giving advice and it's like, all right, okay, we needn't have bothered speaking because he's not listening again. And I don't know why you've worn that t-shirt. Him on the left is a bit anyway, my left. Yeah. All right, bless you. A bit disconcerting seeing your own face looking back at you when you're doing a service. Okay. All right. And I've got a clock ticking, a really loud tick. So there's either a memory link of a clock in somebody's house that would tick really loud and really deep, or somebody's watching the clock. So it's like there ain't enough hours in the day and I need to try and pack 72 hours into 24 hours, but it doesn't fit, it doesn't work. All right. So they're just saying that. All right. And somebody around you also needs to put their feet up. And Nick said at the end of the healing silence, it doesn't hurt to ask for yourself. So somebody needs to recharge the batteries and just take a breath. All right. And not try and do everything all at once. And doesn't hurt to ask for help as well. All right. Okay. Is that it? Have I done enough telling off? Okay. I like to leave with a positive, and I've just got a big dish of mashed potatoes. I don't know if you like mashed potatoes or if this, but I've got a big dish of mashed potatoes. Who? No, I shouldn't ask questions. She'll slap my legs. Somebody must have made models with the mashed potatoes when they were little. Like, okay. I've just got visions of Close Encounters. No, the mountain. That's just what I got. All right. So I'll leave that with you. You can, if you've got some smash, go home and make some models when we get on if you want. Bless you. Thank you.
Got about 10 minutes.
Okay then. Oh, do I have to stick it on?
Oh, it's a good job I've got my son here, isn't it? Calling me little brother. Can I talk to you, sweetheart? Yeah, you. Because I've got a busload. And I'm just saying, no, we haven't got all that night, love, to get everybody through. But they're all wanting to come through all at once. And what they're saying, I will find out, I was going to talk soon for you, but you had a period, darling, where you had quite a lot pass, like all in years, because it's like they show me a domino effect where one went and then all of a sudden everybody sent to follow, if you know what I mean. All right, sweetheart, and they're all here and they're all coming around you at the moment. And you can understand where somebody around you at the minute is at a crossroads, sweetheart, and they just don't know where to go. They're needing a bit of support and a bit of help. Can you understand that? And we're going on a younger generation with this. They're not telling me what, but I do know it's either your nan or granddad or mum and dad what's coming through first. All right. They just remind me of my mum and dad, because my mum and dad loved one another to pieces. But if they ever did have a bicker, it was, we'd be in the house and it'd be them sat there and it'd be, you tell your mum this, and my dad, you tell your dad that. And they were in the same room. And that's just what these are like. You'll be middle and you'll be tell that. And that's what they're like. But they're just bringing that situation about the person down here, sweetheart, where they are needing some support and they are wanting somebody to give them a bit of guidance. All right. And what they're saying is you may be the one what could do it. Because like I said, I'm not telling me it's a situation, but you've been there, so you know. All right. You know what's what. All right. They're just saying how lovely you look, but they're like how colourful you are. No, but they're saying there's so many, forget anybody, I'm sorry, dressed in black. They're just saying there's so many now, people want to dress in dark clothing and that, where they think it's lovely because you're bright and you look summery, and that's what they're liking. Because they don't want you to be dull. Sorry. I'm getting a message, I'm not getting it you, so don't worry. But you're that type of person, sweetheart, and if you could lift somebody, you will. And that's how they're coming in. And she's just said, and if she could give them the last penny and the last roll, or you would do that as well. That's just how kind-hearted you are, darling, okay? And they're coming in with that. And they've just said that you've also been looking down memory lane recently. All right? Because they're taking me back when you was a little one, when you was a little nipper. And they're just saying, yeah, she looks lovely, smiling and all that. But you should have had her when she was like that. When you had your straps on and you was Maudie. All right. I don't know if you was Maudie up here, but that's what we say. But everybody knew you were about when you were little. All right. And times you could have got into mischief more than your elders in your family. You were the one, really, you needed sitting on a chair and glowing. That's the only way they can say it. but it's come out for the better because it's made you a better person. Can you understand that, sweetheart? I don't mean, I was a social worker, I don't mean being glued to a chair, I don't agree with that. But it's made you a better person because what you've gone through, now you can help other people. All right, and that's what they're trying to get across. I've got to say, sweetheart, that I know they're giving me 2 wedding rings, so I do know there would be 2 wedding rings left. Either somebody had been married twice, but there's definitely 2 wedding rings. All right, what they're giving me. Are you together or are you just friends? Right, because I'm getting the 2 wedding rings, sweetheart, all right. But they're also showing me, it's like a ruby ring. Somebody would have had like a ruby ring. I'm not saying it is a ruby, but they would have had a big stone in it. Well, will you ask? Because you can take the others, and this ring is there amongst the family. Because what they're doing, they're showing me the colour. I'm not saying it's ruby because I don't know. But there's a couple of stones missing from round it. So please, if you can, ask someone. Because you'll find it and there's a couple of stones missing. All right. They just keep going on about this. Somebody... Can you understand, sweetheart, where somebody didn't get everything they should have done when this person passed? Yes. Right. That hasn't really helped much for you, has it? But I know that ring should have been passed. Right. All right, so it's where it shouldn't be. I'm trying to be really careful here. So you can understand it now. I've explained it a bit that way. All right, we are going into too much detail. Okay, I know the gentleman, sweetheart, as he comes in, I know he would have suffered with the chest, but I don't know if he would have passed with the chest and the heart or something to do with both. Because I'm out of breath, but yeah, my heart aches, if that sounds right. Okay, but they're just saying your heart has ached for a long time. All right, and they're saying it's got to stop because they're with you. All right, I know that you gave someone a kiss on the forehead prior to them passing. Because they said, we felt it, but you felt them give it you back. So you're very aware of a spirit. Because they said, yeah, but you felt us give your kiss back. Okay. I know what I always call it costume jewellery. I know there's a lot of jewellery about, sweetheart, but things didn't go where it should have been. All right. They're still going on about that, so I know they're not happy. All right, they're not happy about that at all. All right, a little lady coming, that doesn't sound right, but I've got a lovely little lady coming in. I know she would be Nan or Great Nan, but she's coming in with one of them little shopping trolley, you know, what, on wheels. And when she went shopping, she'd put a shopping in, but she'd be a bit keen if it hit you on back at leg. Remember I gave you that? Because she's hitting me on back at leg with shopping trolley. But she says, I didn't mean to do it, but I think she did. All right. She says, I didn't mean to, but she's hitting me with it, so I know that could have been. Yes. All right, sweetheart, she comes along. Very lovely lady. Can you understand Gladys, please? Gladys. If you can't, that's fine. We'll keep Gladys because she must be somewhere else and we're running out of time. But I know Gladys is here. If somebody can take Gladys, please. She's here, but I'm sorry we've run out of time to talk to her. But she's here. Okay, but they're coming in, and I've got to say to you, sweetheart, there again, I know there's an hospital appointment or a doctor's appointment around you or someone very close to you, darling, okay? Please help the person what needs that support at the moment, all right, because they are needing it, okay? And I've got to give you an apple pie and an apple crumble. So I know somebody would like things with apple and apple pie crumbles, something to do with apples, but I'm giving you a pie and a crumble, okay. All right? And they're saying cream were better than custard. So I know somebody, all right, I know somebody would have liked the cream better than the custard. All right. I've got to give you Joseph as well, love. Joseph's just shouted in. No, he's here. Anybody can take Joseph, they're coming in. Comes to end. Is it you? It's him, I'll tell him later. Just shouted in. All right, sweetheart. I think I've got a lovely cross and chain under here, but I've got to give you a cross and chain as well, sweetheart, all right? And I don't know if you can understand the Scottish connections as well. Well, that's fine because I'm Scottish, so that could be my family. But they're coming in as well. They're naughty, aren't they? It's because it's come to end. And can I give you babies in the spirit world, please? All right, because they're around as well. They're coming in. Okay, that's my Scottish look. Tell you, they're jumping in now. They're there as well for you, darling. Okay, I know somebody wants to move because they're telling me that somebody's looking for either to move. I don't know if they're just wanting to move in the same area or up and away into another area totally. Well, will you listen for that, please? Because you haven't, I don't think you've heard about that yet. But they've heard about it. And they're not going to be moving miles away, but they are going to be moving and probably moving out of area. All right. Sorry? It's not me that's going to. No, I'm not saying it's you. I just know somebody's, they're telling me that somebody's, yeah. So watch for that because you'll hear that very soon, that they are going to go. Okay. And I know I've got dogs out and I love my animals, but you can understand a cat. Yes. All right, because a cat's just jumped on your knee. All right, and it's purring, it's curling up, so I know it were affectionate. All right. Okay, sweetheart. I am going to sit down because I'll be with you all night. But I've just got to, I'm sorry. There's a busload. But I've got to give you either somebody would have liked spiders or they're absolutely petrified of spiders because I've got a spider. And I've got quite a big spider. Oh, well, you can have this one then because it's quite big. All right. And I'll leave Spirit's Love with you, sweetheart. But can I just give you that song as well, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, please? All right, because I'm just singing that to you. All right, and I said, and night, God bless. You can have other names then.
I will. Thank you, dear. You're welcome, dear.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony, Jean, and Nicola! In the nick of time, because it turns out the ants have started waking up. So I apologise about that. But thank you so much, all three of you, for a truly wonderful demonstration of mediumship. I've got to just share with you very briefly the two sisters that were connecting with my nan. Hannah and Lily, weren't it? Hannah and Lily. Yes. So my nan's name was Mill and my granddad's name was Bill. Well, more accurately, Sylvia, Millicent and William. But they went by Mill and Bill. And they had these neighbours called Hannah and Lily. You know who I'm on about. Right. And they used to write them a Christmas card and it would say, to Millie and Billy, from Hannah and Lily, and it was stuck in my head ever since. And I used to stand and talk to them everywhere in the village, really. They were celebrities about 30, 40 years ago, weren't they not? So we know exactly who they were, so thank you. And thank you all, well done for standing up and giving a message. It is the start of the journey, and there's a long way of exploring and running and beautiful evidence. Thank you. Well done. And of course, my good friend Tony, as always, a pleasure. So friends, a big thank you. Tony, Jean, and Nicola. Brilliant. Well, friends, soon it will be time to have a raffle and a nibble and a what have you. We've got biscuits. I am aware that there is more than 1 or 2 bars of chocolate now in the raffle. So thank you to everyone who donated to the raffle. As you can tell, Barbara is sitting right next to the chocolate. It's a long-running thing, you know, what can I say? But thank you all so much. Cool, that went very, very fenny there a second, didn't it? Thank you all so much for being here. I'm showing me true colours now, and I love. Thank you all so very, very much for being here and supporting tonight. Remember, this is your church, so if you've got ideas, thoughts, directions, again, as always, we are here to listen. If you see an idea, steal it. For example, the young lady over there, we nicked the idea of the candles off of her church there. So if you're free on Tuesday nights, you can go and see where we nicked it from. And again, a big thank you because the decor is expanding. I must give a big mention, of course. For some reason, I think I think Barbara and Phil are under the impression that I'm a bit clumsy because they've got us a matching set of coasters and this is the dangerous bit, and a lovely tray for holding the jugs to stop them from leaking everywhere. My jugs don't leak, thank you very much. And we've got a lovely new runner and a matching tablecloth for the healing table that Phil and Barbara donated. And of course, a big thank you to Tony for stamping the logo on the Amazon special runner that I found. So we're kind of getting coordinated, and I do love a little bit of purple. It has been the colour of religion for centuries. I'm just glad we don't rely on snail shells anymore, because otherwise I'd go for something else. But thank you for the donations, both for the permanent fixtures and fittings, but the raffle prizes. But the most important donation that you provide every week is your time. So thank you so much for that too. And so let's close this evening in prayer, because I've got a sneaking suspicion everyone wants a cup of tea, and there's some chocolate bickies in the kitchen. Thanks, Daryl. Let's join together and close this evening in prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under your banner of love, of hope, and of friendship, to witness your proof and your truth that we are one, that the human race can move forward and must move forward in love, in laughter, and in light. And as we go out into the world, we are reminded that in times of difficulty and in times of strain, we ask you not to move the mountain. Just give us the strength to climb. Until we meet again in your name, amen. Well, a big thank you. Now, everyone who's at home, I know there's been a various conversation going on with the girls from the Wednesday Circle. And of course, Kazza is still with us. You know what to do after the service. Give me about 2 or 3 minutes, love. But we're going to say goodbye to everyone who's online now, because I'm sure they're not that interested in who's won the chocolate. Because we all know who it's going to be. But friends, once again, thank you. So to everyone at home, from everyone, I don't know why I'm looking at the laptop, because they're in the camera, aren't they? To everyone at home, from everyone here. After 3, 1, 2, 3, good night. And God bless you all. And as she couldn't make it all the way from Bonnie, Scotland, a certain young lady is going to count us down to the music, because it ties in with Mondays. But
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the ball start rolling, Nick.